Hey guys, welcome back to the Hack the Box walkthrough series. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Popcorn. So Popcorn is a Linux box, and it's primarily directed towards a real-life scenario and a CVE-based challenge. So without further ado, let's get started. So let's copy the IP there. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to cat out the Nmap results from my Nmap scan. And you can see again, we're following the simple procedures that I use, or the options that I use. So service enumeration and aggressive scan on all ports. This is TCP based, of course. So you can see that we have SSH server running here. So OpenSSH 5.1 P1. We also have a web server running Apache HTTPD 2.2.12. That is Ubuntu. So that gives us an idea of the operating system we're dealing with to a certain extent. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to try and search for an exploit for that particular version of OpenSSH. I know it's really not something that you typically find with OpenSSH, but again, SSH, and we say 5.1, we hit enter. So we don't have any results for that particular version of OpenSSH. So the next thing is to open up the web server here. So you can see it tells us that it works. This is the default web page for this server. The web server software is running, but no content has been added yet. All right, so if we open up robots.txt, let's just see if we can enumerate anything. So you can see the requested URL was not found on the server. So let's try and perform some directory brute forcing to see if we can uncover any hidden gems here. So first thing I'll do is I'll use GoBuster. Many of you have actually pointed out that I should use GoBuster instead of anything else. So GoBuster, their directory brute forcing, say URL is the following, and I'll paste that in. Word list is going to be under user, share, word lists, and I'll say we'll use the DevBuster word lists, say directory list 2.3 medium.txt, hit enter. And that's going to start GoBuster, and let's see if we can enumerate any hidden directories that we might have missed. So I'm going to let that run. It's one of great advantages of using GoBuster is it's much more faster because it uses Go, of course. That means we can utilize things like threads. So we get a test directory. That's interesting. So let's try and open that up. So we're going to say open up test here, and we get the PHP version here, which is weird. It actually displays this to us. So that's of really no help. Let's go back and let's see if we have any other directory. So yeah, nothing else. So I'm just going to wait for this to complete. In the meantime, let's see if we can enumerate any more information. If we take a look at the page source, we don't get anything secret here or anything hidden that is of any particular use. And let's just check back and see if we have any results from the directory brute forcing. So nothing yet. So I'm just going to let this run, and we can actually let it run together. We take a look at these services here. Yeah, we don't have anything much regarding what we can target in terms of attack vectors. OpenSSH, let's try SSH root at, and let me just get rid of these, the HTTP protocol here, hit enter, yes, and let's see if we can actually log in. Doesn't allow us to do anything. That's very weird. We go back, and yes, looks like we get another hidden directory. So I'm just gonna let's terminate this SSH session here. So just hit enter to a false password here. So we'll just terminate that, and let's check it out. So it's a torrent directory. So let's open that up, and I'll just say torrent, and we hit enter, and it takes us to what appears to be a torrent hoster web application, which is very interesting. So it looks like we can actually host our own torrents here, which is pretty cool. But anyway, we can log in, and we can also sign up, which is very interesting. Let's try and brute force this particular directory, because there might be stuff that we should be looking for. So I'm just going to terminate that, and what we'll do is we'll just say torrent here, and I'll just hit enter, and let's brute force. All right, so there we are. So you can see we have quite a lot of stuff. So we have an index. So let's check out the index first. Index that doesn't display anything, which is weird. We have a download. Let's check out download. Download, yeah, that doesn't give us anything useful here. Yeah, so nothing useful there. We have login, which we have already. We have admin. Let's check out admin. We have browse and upload. So let's try that out. So we have admin, and that takes us to login, which is okay. Browse, that allows us to browse torrents. Do we have any other? Do we have torrents here? So yeah, there we are. That's browse, and looks like we have one torrent. So this is a Kali Linux torrent here. That's interesting. So let's check out the other directory, which was that was, I think, uploads. Was it uploads? I think it was upload. Let's just try that out. And okay, that's interesting. So we can see some images. That looks like an image there. And NOS, what is no screenshot? All right, so that means no screenshot. All right, that's interesting. Let's just keep this directory in mind because we can actually, I think we can actually try and upload a shell here. But before we do that, let's try and see whether we have any other directories here. So we have upload, edit, database, secure. Let's try those out as well. Database. All right, we have a database. We have an SQL database here. So this is a PHP myadmin SQL dump. The database is torrent hoster. So it's going to dump. So it gives us information for the comments table, the table structure. So there's news. So these are all the subcategories. So it gives us, all right, there we are. So insert info, users, values, admin, and it gives us the admin email. So this looks like the password. Let's try and log in with that. So let's try and log into admin actually. So what is the IP? It is 10.10.6 and this is torrent, and let's try and log in actually with the admin credentials. So I'll say admin, let's try and log in with the password. It log in here, that did not work. I think because that's probably a hashed password. Let's see if we can identify what password this is. So hash identifier, let's try and use that, paste in that. So it tells us it looks like it's an MD5 credential, MD5, there we are. So we can try and crack that. In the meantime, let's see if we can actually create a user account. So I'm going to sign up. So we'll just go to, let's try CyberChef. Let's try CyberChef here. And we can try and crack, we can actually try and analyze what we're dealing with, because it could have a salt. It's using a typical or a standard MD5. So let's see, MD5. Let's bring that up in here, paste that in there. So it gives us the output, which is interesting. It gives us another, what appears to be an MD5 hash here. Let's try and replace that there. So it keeps on giving us MD5 hashes. So what we'll try and do is let's try and create a new user. So I'm just going to say test, password is going to password, and an email is going to test@test.com. I've used that before. 5D F, I believe that's a 0 or a key 0 or an O or an A. I'm not really sure. Let's try and register anyway. All right, so I think that the code was incorrect. Password 3D874, and let's hit register now. Hopefully that works. All right, so we can log in. So test and password. So test. By the way, let's try and analyze what we were dealing with here, because it's telling MD5 domain cache credentials, so MD4 pass and the MD4. That's weird. So let's just go back here. If I copy it here, so you say MD4. Let's get rid of all that and say MD4 here. Paste that in there. So yeah, it keeps on giving us new values. All right, that's weird. Tells us we cannot access admin. Interesting. But what we are supposed to log in here, for some reason we can't log in. I don't know where the login prompt went. If I go back into torrent and we just try and access this, so yeah, I'm logged in. So if I take a look at my torrents here, It looks like we can browse torrents. We saw that we had the Kali torrent here. And if we take a look at we have the screenshot, which looks like this screenshot right over here, I believe. So let's see if we can actually upload the torrent. The first thing I want to do is let's try, and I believe I already have a reverse shell downloaded here. I usually have that saved. There we are. So let me just extract that, and the first thing I want to do is let's open this up with Genie, because that'll be much easier to edit. So the first thing, let me just get rid of all of these comments. So PHP reverse shell can be found on Pentest Monkey, in case you are wondering. Increase the font size here. So we're just going to get the IP here. So ifconfig, and we'll get the tunnel 0 interface IP, which is the HackTheBox network, and we will try and log in there. So we'll just go into Genie, and we'll put in the IP. So this is the local IP that it is going to be connecting back to, and the port will set it to 1234. That's fine. So we can actually just save this, and what we can do is, by the way, we can actually just save this on the desktop as a we'll just call it a shell.php, sorry, shell.php, and we'll hit save. Okay. By the way, we might also want to change this into bash. So let's actually just save that, and we'll change that into a bash, so it gives us a bash shell instead of a Bourne shell. So now that we have that there, let's try and see if we can actually upload that file. So if I say browse, let's see if we actually have any restrictions regarding upload. So shell.php, hit open, and we'll just call it shell, category other. It is other. We'll just upload the torrent, and it tells us this is not a valid torrent file. All right, that's interesting. So if we get another torrent, so let me just open up google.com. Let's see, Kali Linux torrent. Let's get a torrent file, and let's see if we can upload the torrent file. So I'll get the latest torrent file here. I'll save that, and we'll upload, and we'll just go into browse, and we'll go to the downloads folder, and there we are. We'll open that up, and we'll just try and upload that torrent, and it looks like it's processing, so that looks like it's working. By the way, I want to intercept these requests because I want to see if there is any sanitization regarding the types of files and file extensions that we can try and upload. So it looks like it only accepts torrent files. I could be wrong. But let's try and experiment, and let's see what's going on exactly. By the way, if we take a look at the results here, is it still brute forcing? So it got a validator, torrents, thumbnail, readme. Let's check out the readme. That could be interesting. 10, I would say torrent and readme. Let's see if there's anything interesting here. All right, so we get a readme file that tells us this is torrent host 2.0. By the way, are there any vulnerabilities for this? Let's see if there are any exploits. So exploits, let's see if there are any exploits. So remount upload, interesting, but we're getting carried away. But this gives you all the installation requirements. So you need SQL, PHP, GD2. If we take a look at the license, that gives us the license information. So it's GPL, not really sure what version of GPL. But you can see that this is a remount upload. So remount upload exploit. So we go to torrent hoster, torrents.php mode upload. That's interesting. So use tamper data. Number 2 is you have this little payload here, I believe, that not really sure what it does here, but it gives you the password. Very interesting. So cross-site scripting, and then you can use the, once you have actually uploaded it, you can use the torrents to find the shell. But hold on, before we do that, I was on to something here. Let's just close CyberChef up here. So it looks like we're able to upload the latest version. So it has all the information of the torrent, the uploaded by, category, tracker, size, all that good stuff. And then we have the screenshots, which is what I was interested in, because it looks like we can upload the file here. So if we click on edit this torrent, it takes us to this little page here, and then we can edit the hash. No, the hash stays the same. That's dumb of me to say. So we can update the screenshot. So if we change, let's see if we can upload the shell directly, by the way. So desktop shell.php, hit open, submit screenshot, invalid file. Okay, interesting. So there is some sanitization going on here, or there's some upload restrictions, not really sanitization. So let's go into Zap here, and I'll just open up Zap, and let's see what exactly we're dealing with here. So for some reason Zap is taking a really long time to open. Let's close up hash identifier, and we'll go back here. All right, so no, I do not want to persist the session. So first of all, let me just refresh this so that we have this loaded up within Zap. By the way, I haven't actually set the certificate authority for Zap, but I think that should be fine. So we're going to set a break on all the requests. So I'm going to say edit this torrent, and it gives us the break here. So we're just going to forward it to the next step, and we'll let that should open up this page here. There we are. All right, so I'm going to say browse shell.php, hit open, and we now want to set a break. So yeah, we want to set the break now. So let me just open that up, and we say submit screenshot. All right, so we get the data here, or the request rather. So you can see this is the actual content here. If we take a look at the break here, there we are. So the file, the application, the content type is application xphp, so that makes sense. So you say, if we say image png, and we then hit break to the next, and as it says upload complete. All right, so I'm not really sure. Let's break to the next point. So it says upload completed. So that was fairly simple. We're able to bypass it directly just by changing the type. So if we take a look at the uploaded files here, and we reload that, sorry, let me just remove that break. That's really annoying. Let me just reload this. So yeah, we can see we have the PHP file here, which is the shell. So if we set up a listener with netcat, we should be able to get a reverse shell. Let me just stop this brute force here. So I say netcat nvlp1234, and we're going to listen. And if I click on the PHP file here, we should get a reverse shell with bash. There we are. So we don't have job control. We're currently logged in as UID with the www data system account, so we can confirm that again. So first thing, what kernel are we running? We're running 2.6.31 cat. Let's see, issue Ubuntu 9.10. So this should be vulnerable to quite a few things. The first thing I want to do is I want to move into my OPT directory, and we're going to use the what's it called, the Linux exploit suggester, and that should be the first version on GitHub, not version 2. So we can just get the content with wget. By the way, do we have wget? Or yes, we do. So we say wget, and whoops, sorry about that. Are we in OPT, by the way? Paste that in there. Permission denied. Interesting. Probably just get rid of that there. So it's still resolving. Could that be an issue? Are we actually able to connect to the internet, or do we have to set up a server here? That's interesting. So let's wait for that. In the meantime, we can actually get it on our system ourselves, and we'll just hit enter. Yeah, we're able to get it on our system. So we'll just call it sug.sh, and hit enter. So has that actually resolved, or will that fail? I'm not really sure. Right, so that failed. So that means we need to get it from a device on the local network, so that means from our system. So we can use the simple HTTP server, Python M simple HTTP server, that should be on port 8000. So this is going to be sug.sh. That's interesting. So we say wget HTTP. What's my local IP? I can't believe I keep on forgetting this, man. This is weird. So it's 10, 10, 14, 38. Yeah, that's a bit difficult to understand or to remember. So it's 8000 sug.sh. We hit enter, and we can't actually. Let's try tmp, and I'll just try and use this this command right over here one more time. We need permission to actually do anything here. So yeah, it looks like we're able to get it into the tmp folder. So if we list the files here, so chmod +x sug.sh, hit enter. Say sug.sh, hit enter, and let's see what exploits we're able to enumerate here. So we'll look at the one at the top because that seems to be the most likely. So kernel version 2.6.31, it's a 32-bit architecture, Ubuntu 19.10, additional checks, so package listing from current OS. So the kernels, it has 73 kernel space exploits, which is weird. That's quite bad. And 43 user space exploits. Full Nelson is the first one here, which again, it tells us the exposure. It's highly probable. So we should actually try this right now. Let's try and open this link and let's see what we get. So it gives us the entire file. So if we use wget to get this, let's see if we can actually compile it. The compilation information are as follows. We use GCC, and we simply just compiling it without any other additional options here. So what we can do is we can just say, we'll just get the file as it is, and yeah, it looks like we're gonna have to save it on our device first, so, or on our machine first. So we'll just say wget get that exploit, and we get it right over here. So cat full Nelson, we hit, and let's see if that is actually the exploit. Yeah, so you can read some. Let's read about what this exploit essentially does. So it exploits, this exploit leverages 3 vulnerabilities to get root, all of which were discovered by Nelson LH. So CV 2010 to 4258, and then we have CVE 2010 3849, and a few others. This is very interesting. I'm very curious to see as to whether it is a let's see what information it can give us about. So we have the download URL that gives us that there. I'll probably check that out on my own time because that's very interesting. So yeah, so now we can actually use the simple HTTP server. So I'll use Python M simple HTTP server with full nelson.c. So we'll just say wget HTTP. I keep on forgetting the IP, but again, we can just put it in there anyway. So 8000, and we are getting the full nelson.c, and we hit enter, and we're able to get it there. All right, so that's excellent. We list the files. So gcc full nelson .c, and output this into full Nelson or whatever name you want, and we're gonna hit enter, and it looks like it did it. So we can actually exploit. So chmod +x, so full Nelson, hit enter. We say full Nelson, hit enter, and I don't know, have we got anything here? If we type in ls and id. Yeah, so it looks like we got root, so that was fairly simple. So we can actually try and go into the home directory. We have the user George, so George, and we can cat the user.txt flag here. So we get the flag right over here, and we then can go into root, and we have the root.txt flag. So cat root, my bad, .txt, and hit enter, and we get the root flag. And yeah, so that was fairly simple. Can we get a Bourne shell? No. We pretty much, to get a consistent shell, would need to upload a reverse shell or a payload, and we were able to execute it. But I'll hopefully make videos covering more of post-exploitation in the future. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. This was quite an interesting one because we're dealing with web application as the primary attack vector. We're able to upload a PHP script through an upload bypass vulnerability in the upload uploader here, where we actually we upload it as a screenshot. I thought you could actually do it through the torrent, but that looked quite secured. Probably some validation there because it has to actually get or fetch the information like the seeds and peers, the tracked by and the tracker information. Yeah, so that's going to be it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Peace.